just the place. Ta-da. Hello! Ah! Not like you to be overdressed. Ooh.
65% alcohol.
Oh, of course. Hang on, let me just do this. You look fab. Oh God, look at you! Okay, so I am in the salon. I am at Melisshair in East Wittering, and with the one and only Melissa Hamilton.
Hi all.
I just feel like I'm like announcing a superstar, like a film star. Melissa Hamilton. Anyway, let's get on with this.
Okay, show me around.
So welcome to Melisshair Salon. So we have got, so this used to be the barbering station and children's station, but as the meter distancing applies, we can't, this is redundant. So this is where I sell my Tropic products from. When Debbie is in, we have got this screen to keep us safe from germs. So when she is in for 2 days a week, we are either side. And I've now moved behind the screen.
Oh!
But what I then also realised by having this screen and then changing my logo and having the door completely covered, we can create one-to-one appointments for people who are maybe just starting chemo. Not that you should feel that you need to hide away, but if you are feeling uncomfortable, we can create a private appointment. If you're transgendered and it's very new, it's your first time coming into a salon and maybe you don't want to be around a lot of people and want to speak a bit more openly, again, we can have this privatised for you for your own appointment. So, and I'm very flexible, so if it means coming in a bit early or after work on a Sunday, I can come and do that for you. And then, yeah, we're more, what's the word, it's more intimate,
Yeah.
Which means, there's no fear of saying anything in front of anyone or anything anyone overhearing anything you don't feel comfortable saying.
And with your own journey, being transgender, regarding your hair, I suppose you can have a lot of sympathy for people.
Massively. So even though I'm still receding, I haven't started any treatment yet. So I'm totally aware of using headbands and how I create more thicker, fuller hair. Equally, I have done some trans men, female to male, where we've gone longer to shorter. So being a male beginning, so I had the best of both, I guess, of creating hairstyles. But yeah, I totally know. I mean, luckily where I work in a salon, I haven't had to have that initial going into a salon, and obviously the price goes up when you become a woman.
Doesn't it just?
Yeah. So there is, things do change. Things change there. So. And going in, and I guess as well, like there's that worry of where I am trans as well, so you can completely confide it, and I can understand that. Whereas maybe going to a salon for lots of people, or you can feel a bit like, I know how I felt going into anywhere for the first time, like whether it be a local shop or a restaurant. Once I've done it more than once, it's not a problem, but that first time, your heart's racing and you leave thinking, oh my god, I managed that. So it's just to make your first appointment as stress-free and enjoyable as possible, rather than sort of feeling exposed. And especially like where I have a receding hairline, nothing feels less feminine than sitting there in front of the mirror with your receding hairline on show. And again, this will help to, rather than being in a salon, maybe lots of people all looking over and being like, is that man, is that woman?
And your creativity in general obviously would have helped you with wig styling. So I'm assuming you could assist.
So wig wise, and so if you're getting a wig for the first time, as long as it's heat, as long as you're able to start with heat, I can cut into it very easily. I can style it on your head, and I have got some heads that I can put them on also. I would advise you to wear it on your head because then we can work it to your face shape. But if you wanted to drop something in, I can do that as well.
And would you, I mean, this is a whole new video, this is a whole different video, because we could talk about wigs for days, but are you happy if someone comes in and they have a synthetic or human hair, because there are big differences?
So I wouldn't work on synthetic hair because I can't use heat to play around. If it's synthetic and it's heat safe, that's fine. If it's like a party wig or really synthetic, I wouldn't personally work on that. It needs to be something that I can use heat, see how it's going to look natural, so I can style it out The wigs that I've used for myself, that I heat, they're all lace front, and I can use heat and I can chop into them. The quality is much better. But I would go with, it's normally 50-50, or you can go for real hair. Real hair wigs are very hard to keep. I got one and it just matted up, and they're trying to wash it, and you've got to have proper wig shampoo and conditioner. So it just become more of a minefield, whereas you can get half synthetic, half real hair. That's what I find works better for me.
I didn't know you get half and half.
It's kind of like, so the synthetic hair is still heat safe, but it's not like the shiny plastic ones.
Okay.
So I'm not sure exactly what the components are that make it up, but you can get synthetic heat safe wigs.
Oh, that's really good to know. And a great service for anyone who's, again, coming out the first time or just wants some advice about
going through chemotherapy or transgender clients. If you want to bring a wig in, then yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Excellent, lovely. We are now mask free because we are in the salon with absolutely nobody else here, and we are, I think, more than a metre apart.
More than a metre.
It is the closest we've been in ages, so we'll take what we can get. I think let's start with the history of your salon.
Okay, so the salon that I'm currently in now, I've been here for 4 years, back in March, which is then Melisshair for 3 months.
Yes.
But I started off in a little shed, probably about the size of what we're sitting in now, with just 2 sections and a basin. No toilet, no heating. It was a proper, like in the winter, the condensation, the amount of tissues I went through to catch all the condensation. And then I moved here, and it was just the sort of start of having a proper salon, really. And I had already had 3 girls with me, so it made sense to then sort of progress. So things sort of changed. So starting off, obviously my brand was Mark Lewis, and I had a big old Tash back then. So that was
did, I remember,
So everything was going really, really well. We had a really great team. I'm not a manager. I'm not very good at it. So things did sort of start to slip, and I was also going through a very personal discovery and admission of being transgender. So I was probably a little bit hard to work with, at times, and so things started changing. I decided not to grow the business and focus on myself, and that was coming up 2 years ago now, and that's when I came out, and I've actually dawned.
Is that 2 years?
It's 2 years next month.
No way.
Yeah, so I remember, because it was not long after. Well, it was not long. Oh no, was it after the weekend that I told you?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So
it was literally at my vintage weekend of 2018 that you. Yeah, it was straight after that, because
Yeah, so I had just done 3 nights of drag, which I'd never had that opportunity to kind of almost live as a woman every day, even though it's the evening.
Yeah.
So it was a definite, like, this feels much more right than being.
And I think also you were always a little bit confused with what aspect of drag you fitted into, but because in reality
it wasn't drag. It was really more like cosplay. And actually, and even still after coming out, I've only really realised that over the past few months that it's still not drag, because I don't know, it's definitely more cosplay. I'm just sort of doing, I don't say normal makeup, but I'm not sort of getting rid of my eyebrows.
Your makeup's amazing, by the way.
I
feel really underdone today. I'm just going to stay off camera. You can still see me though. Back of my hair, terrible.
Well, lockdown was great for makeup because I just had time.
Yes.
to play
and
around.
you did, yeah.
I lockdown initially. So things were going really well here. And everything, so I lost a lot of girls. I went off to be self-employed, mobile, which is fine. I did the same, so it's a natural progression. And then I was just felt like before lockdown, like I was just on top of things after having gone. I just kind of got the gist of getting back to doing paperwork, which I hate doing.
Same.
So everything like that. So I felt like I was on a roll, and everything's going really well. And then we kept. Spain went into lockdown. And was like, it's not going to happen here. Like,
it's not going to happen to us.
No,
it was
not
somewhere
at all.
else.
It was all being sort of met as like a bad flu.
Yeah.
Like it'll be fine, and because it's really small in here, it's very one-to-one. Like it's not. It's quite nice that it's not a huge human trafficking. So it is. It's keeping it clean is so much easier than having and having less staff to worry about. But then everyone started cancelling beforehand, and then I started ringing. I thought I want to do what's right for my clients, not what's right for my business, and I knew I was taking a lot of I was losing a lot of clients, so which meant I was earning less money. With it just being me, it's only my money that comes in, whereas before I had the girls. So
and having lots of staff, it's it's a weight of responsibility as well.
Oh, massively, and actually, like, so within the first 3 weeks when I thought my life was over, because I just started living as Mel, I was coming, what I thought I was really starting my journey, but I don't really think I did. I was still very much aware that I was trying to people please. I was very aware that, I don't wear my fake breasts anymore because I realised that breasts don't make a woman. And I was very much trying to give an image what people would accept as a woman. So I was still very caught up in that. So I thought I was actually much happier at the time, before. And the lockdown, but actually then lockdown happened. I had these 3 weeks of everything, where I wasn't working. I wasn't sure if I was entitled to a grant. I watched the news 3 days in a row, and I never watched the news. So then there was
terrifying, wasn't it?
It's worse than a horror film. It was really scary because there was all this, apart from the panic buying, which was mad. But then they were saying, if you get poor, now I'm asthmatic, so I have like an underlying health condition, and with it will be wet breathing and stuff. So. And I live alone, I've got my little dog, but I live alone, so lots of time to overthink, which I do anyway. And they were saying things like, if you do get poorly, no one can come and visit you. So I had this fear of, this has been the last time I could never I might not see anyone again. It was a real fear of that this could be it. Not even of dying, but like I've not fulfilled everything yet. I haven't finished. I've just started. So
the video you did where at the beginning of lockdown was
my very public breakdown.
Mel had a Britney moment, let's just call it.
I used to always preach, be yourself, be who you are before I came out, and I think knowing that I was like, because I was always trying to preach that, and then felt very hypocritical. So that was the thing. But I feel. I definitely learned through suppressing it for so many years. I just don't think it's not healthy. I mean, for a lot of people that know me beforehand, drink and drugs, that was very big in my life at the time, because that was my way of expressing who I was in private, and also the way of dealing with things, because I didn't think I could talk to anyone. And it wasn't, and actually again looking back, I can't believe I let myself be that unhappy. So it has been very, very important that I feel like my voice is just as important as everyone else's, because I'm a human being, not straight, bi, transgender. I feel the same as everyone else, and I think we all try to, with Facebook and Instagram, we want to show the best of ourselves for sure. I mean, with my selfies up here, hello. But I also felt it was very important to show the bad side of yourself on social media as well, because it's reality, it is real. And I did sort of battle with myself whether to do that breakdown on Facebook, and then I thought maybe I'll just do it tomorrow and I'm less raw. And I was like, no, because I know I took myself out of it. So I was like, let's do it. And I had no makeup on. I think I'd been in the same jumper for like 2 days, and I was just, I was distraught.
You were kind of like emotionally rock bottom, but in a way that actually became you. That launched a whole new.
Well, because then after that, then I thought about when no one could come and see you, and one of my other fears was that I'm going to be when my life flashes before my eyes when I die. Like if I catch COVID, will be me stuck in a flat for 3 weeks. Well, at the time we thought it was 3 weeks. We didn't know it was going to be 3 months.
Those old days.
I know, So, but everything that is brand new is very, very scary. Everything that's brand new is very scary. But we are very adaptable as human beings, and actually I was like, do you know what, if I'm going to be stuck indoors, I want my last, light through the tunnel moments to be the best ones, because that's going to be the last thing I see. So I then was like, right, and also after my public breakdown, I just want to say I had the most amazing support from all my friends. I had food hampers, because I didn't have any money at the time.
Yeah.
Literally, currency was food. If I had food in my fridge, I felt rich. So the thing for me, I love my food, which I think people would find it quite hard to believe, but I eat a lot. And it was just like, right, if I can eat, I've got no problems. That was all. So I had all that support, and then I'd stopped feeling less alone, even though I was living by myself. And because obviously then reaching out through Facebook, I meant that I wasn't battling. So actually, I felt so much love and affection from everyone.
Because social media can be so toxic, but it can also be a lifeline, can't it? You feel like there's people out there, yet sometimes, there's people out there. Do you know what I mean? So it's a double-edged sword, but in that case, I think the love that was shown, because of course, your business had to sort of shut down pretty much overnight.
So I ended up just shutting 2 days early because I had no one in.
Everyone cancelled,
So there wasn't really any point in coming in. But I didn't know that we were going to go on lockdown. And then we had the Monday announcement, and I was like, okay. So I probably should have just maybe waited around for some walk-ins or something. But that's quite soul destroying, just sitting and waiting, because lots of overthinking. But it's mad.
And how was your landlord and everything about how's that experience been?
Both landlords from my home and I'm incredibly grateful and lucky. I'm in a great support bubble, great support network down here in Wittering. I feel very privileged that everyone coming back. My landlord made sure that I had safety measures up. He's done that for free.
These screens?
Yeah, he done that for me, because I said to him, and just coming back, we'll have to look at how it works, because where I can't do as many people, I might be earning less money, which means I might be able to afford my lease next year. So I just had to put it out there to him, because I was like, I didn't want to get to the month before and be like, oh, by the way. And he said, no, I'd have thought of that, and he completely understood.
That's so generous.
Really, really generous. So everyone's been really good. My landlord at home was fantastic, because obviously if I'm not working here, I then can't pay my rent at home. And he was like, just if you need to pay half, and then we'll just top it up. But luckily, I was entitled to the grant, which meant I could furlough myself, and I got a helper lady, Debbie. So I could furlough us. There was that security then. And again, that was then another weight. So I was like, I don't have to worry about being homeless, being hungry. So then that's when everything started turning round, and then my journey was like, well, my going out, because I'm not going out the weekends, is walking the dog. So I started dressing in drag. And that was when I was like, I can care what people think, or I cannot care what people think. I've got to think about, what's making me, because actually I wrote a poem, it's actually more an epilogue. I'm about 3 pages in, but I was so worried, well, what was everyone else going to do? How is everyone else coping with it? I'm like, why am I still worrying about what everyone else is going to do? What do I want to do? What's going to benefit me? So it just sort of switched, and then so then I started, so going out on walks, and obviously there's no one around, so it didn't really matter so much anyway. But taking little photo shoots where I went, and the confidence and self-esteem that grew in me over lockdown has been phenomenal. It's been amazing.
Your photography,
it's just a tripod on my iPhone.
It has been incredible, and I think that's also been it's been a nice sort of diary that you've kept as well.
For me, and I know it's very lovely to get all the likes and the hearts and the hug emojis, but it is a scrapbook. I use Instagram as a scrapbook, because I do like to look back over my photos. I'm very self-critical, so I'll go back next time I do this with my haircuts as well. So and now that Facebook, you get the time things this time last year. So it was so it is important to document it. I think I've got lots of pages on Facebook and Instagram, but so I'm trying to separate them up a bit more. But the documentation for me, to look back, and I kept just a lockdown album. So if you look at how I started, and I've got my crying face is the first picture, and then it's sort of to the end of me, sort of like looking how I do now. And how
have your customers been since
So everyone's just so happy to get their hair done. I have been absolutely loved coming in and seeing the lockdown hair. Like, and what I can do with it, because some people have been embracing the length, and so people go, well, let's try this, because most of the time you try and encourage people to grow their hair, try something new, and you get to the second haircut, like, oh, I've just doing my head and cut it off.
Yeah.
And then you can never get around to it. So actually, people have had length to play with, so it's been great for me. It's really inspired my sort of creative flow.
Oh, okay.
Because now I can go, well, we could do this, we could try that. Rather than like, oh, we're just trimming it.
Yeah. So people's grown out fringes that are down there and roots.
I mean, some people with fringes, I was like, I did get the nail scissors, which I can't expect
Nail
not
scissors.
to. Better than the kitchen scissors. Like,
Really
people have been
relieved.
fantastic. And then I was very good because through the lockdown, my accountant said, because I was on furlough, I'm not allowed to work or do anything online, so I did go very quiet through my work page, because even though you're not making money then, it's still classed as working, and I didn't want to put anything at risk from losing my
So you literally went on enforced leave, basically?
Yes, well, I call it retirement, and I can't wait to get to 65 now.
Roll on 65. But it wasn't like a lot of people had an enforced stop.
Yes.
I know I certainly had an enforced stop. Sadly, I can't at the moment start again, but you know, I'm trying.
Not even on Amber yet.
Yeah, we're just like, but yeah, for you it was like an enforced stop, but on a personal growth level.
Oh my god! I mean, it
thing.
was literally. It's like a year's worth of therapy in 3 months, like a crash course.
Save yourself a fortune.
But exactly. And I got paid to do it.
Yeah.
which again, I feel.
Thanks, Boris.
Yeah. I mean, I do have this very tiny bit of survivor's guilt, because it has been the most productive, great experience for me. So I do have this thing of like, I feel, because I know so many others that have lost family members or had it themselves, lost jobs.
Yeah.
So I do feel bad that it has been great for me, but I wouldn't change it, because I wouldn't be as happy as I am.
Yeah.
So it's a bit of a double-edged sword with it.
Yeah. And when did the logo thought come across?
So actually,
have you been meaning to do that for a while?
So no, I kept popping in to water my flowers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to grab some bits to do some hair bits at home. Or I was like, oh, I wanted to put my microwave back because I wanted some microwave popcorn because I have a microwave at home. So I can't grab my microwave.
Yeah.
And I just started drawing. I can't remember, but because I literally designed it myself.
Yeah.
And I was just playing around just in here. And it didn't take long, maybe like an hour. Because it's so simple. But it was so then Emma from Media Circus, who did the Teachers of Pride logo, I loved that, so I then got in touch with her.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, actually, because you've already done it, it's just making it look a bit more professional. So the logo for me, it probably won't stay like this. It might be for a year or two. It's just the bang here I am. Because so it's very plain, simple. So it's gone from my old name. Just this is my name now. Well, it's been my name for 2 years, but you know, like there shouldn't be any more confusion. And the light, the colours behind the letters are from the Pride flag, the original 6-coloured Pride flag.
Yeah.
It just fits really well with the letters in between. The lights behind, because I've always wanted my name in lights. And then just sort of hair at the bottom, just so people know it's a hair salon. I have myself once a month, a 3-day weekend. Yeah. Because doing the It's My Life video, like what I didn't want to do was lose who I become through lockdown. Yeah. So I actually became who I used to be before social society made me feel like I couldn't be that person. Okay. So I went back to sketching. So when I started my career at Tony and Guy, you know, you're working all week, but then you want to see your friends at weekends, and you're getting drunk, so you're hungover. So all the things that you used to do that you enjoyed, you don't have time to do. So then you lose that person and become a bit of a drunk. And working hard. I mean, I've always done like 10-hour days. I've always been a grafter. So I just lost my hobby. I lost my what made me happy. So through the lockdown as well, I got back into poetry, doing videos, you know, dressing up. I always used to do that. I found my old poetry book and I nicked some school books from when I extra books from school, and I did like them all in neat. And I was like, oh my god, I'm not the best at sketching, but it's therapeutic. Yeah. So I went back to who I used to be before life took over me. And so coming back to work, so when I come back, I've been coming back, this is very glam, I probably wouldn't be able to sustain wearing this all day at work.
Honestly, you look like Crystal Carrington
Yeah.
or Joan Collins, you know.
Oh,
The
I'll take a look.
on the logo inspiration, the legs. Was there anything behind that? Because interesting, I don't know if you realise this, but
Yeah.
your legs do feature quite a lot
So,
on social media.
My mum
And if I
has
had
amazing
them,
legs.
I would.
Yeah, I've definitely, if you got it, flaunted it now, and I've again, it's something I was still hiding away before lockdown. I was very much still trying to be quite, like passable and not like a picture like, oh, you're being too in your face.
Yeah.
So again, so the legs for me is the showgirl
Yeah.
in me. I'm always so jealous growing up I was in Sound of Music and played on trap and I wanted to be one of the girls, and so I've always had that.
Yeah.
I've been very envious of having the done male part.
Yeah.
The supporting role. I
Yeah.
want to be in front. So
I want to be the star.
so the legs for me, it just fit because I did the heels went on there. It was to make the name long. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, they look a bit like legs. So I did the heels the other way, sort of the other way round.
Yeah.
And we'll switch them out for which looks
That's
much
great.
better.
Yeah.
So it is kind of it's a representation of who I am. As much as that, because I'm not just a hairdresser, and
Yeah.
I hate these things just something anyway.
Yeah,
I'm very eclectic in
Yeah.
everything. So I guess it's a feminine look, aside from my Mark Lewis one, which is beautiful, which I designed that
Yeah.
as well. But it wasn't intentional about my legs actually. It was just it looked good.
Yeah. But as do your legs. So what now? I mean, are you happy where things are going?
I actually love how things are back. I don't like the masks, but the restrictions have changed, so we have to now wear a visor and a mask. I always wear gloves, but do you know what? It's made me work so much better.
Oh really?
Yeah, I
Having
would.
gloves on or
No, just basically everything.
everything? Oh wow.
So where I can't have, so Debbie isn't allowed to shampoo or touch any of my clients, so she is kind of a bit redundant at the moment. So we're
Okay.
introducing her as the Care Straight girl, so she can do them have clients. Otherwise, she can't help me.
Right.
So a lot of salons haven't got their trainees back yet because they
Oh,
aren't
I
allowed
see.
to touch because it's to minimise cross contamination.
Yeah.
Totally understandable.
Yeah.
But it means then I can't cut someone's hair when someone's got the colour on. I used to do 2 gents in an hour because you're not allowed to have people waiting next to each other. So I put my prices up by £5
Yeah.
to cover what I'm losing client-wise in the daytime, because I could probably squeeze another 2 or 3 clients in. Which then goes back to me maybe not being able to have kept my lease. So that hasn't insured. I'm
Right.
safe.
Okay.
So and I know a lot of salons have up. I mean, in April it would have done for it anyway.
Yeah.
But I just did it, and no one's. Everyone, because everyone's been through this. It's not
Yeah,
like it's
yeah,
just
exactly.
regional and that. Like, so everyone has understood. Like,
Yeah.
well, actually, it's fine.
Yeah.
Gloves. Do you know what is great because it protects you from? I mean, the only thing about now is the reusage of single-use plastic.
Yeah, that's
We
heartbreaking,
went through
isn't it?
seeing the dolphins in Venice,
Oh, I know.
canals.
Yeah.
The Himalayas been seeing like the vivid colours back to finding gloves and now
Yeah.
finding gloves. So, and this industry is incredibly wasteful. And like they're being very good. Everything's becoming vegan, recyclable.
So the product itself
The
has
products are
become
much
better.
But things like the gowns and that now are all plastic because
Yeah.
they have to be throwaway. So the gowns, which you do stick to in this heat, and the mask, which I totally do get, and it is mandatory now for clients to wear them because it wasn't to start with, which I did have a few moans about.
Yeah.
But I kept it mandatory since the beginning, and again, clients have been absolutely like they want their hair done. If you want it done, you wear a mask. That's just, if I'm protecting you, you should be protecting me. It's true. I think it should be regardless everywhere. If we're all protecting each other, then we're all humankind, isn't it? So,
Yeah, definitely. Where do you see Melisshair in a year's time, assuming we go on a trajectory of recovery?
I mean, I'm right now. I'm not looking into the future because what was the point?
Is it? Yeah.
Like,
by the way, this is being recorded at the end of August 2020, just for future us.
So with this second spike that might happen, I'm not really trying to even think about anything, because if a spike comes, then there's too much that could lose again.
Yeah.
So it's like setting yourself up to be had.
Yes.
So I'm very, very well. I think I've learned how to just get things done day by day.
Yeah.
If I can afford my, if I can get everything done and everything's like covered, that's great. Is that successful? That's success for me. Again, I see success very differently. I used to think, I need like 5 salons. I need my name everywhere. But I'm a single person who can support themselves. Like that is very successful. So for me at the moment, it is a very day to day, and especially because the lockdown has pushed back my going up to the gender clinic. So and I was already 5 months behind because the doctors messed it up anyway. So I did speak to them the other week, and they said get the doctors to write a letter. It might not do anything, but it can't do any harm. So now I'm just waiting to hear back again. So I try not to think about in a year, because if I don't get there, I'll be frustrated.
No, that's a very valid point, and I think a lot of us, well, my industry is we can make plans, but can't even guarantee it's even going to happen.
This is it. If I could have a dream of where I want to be in a year, I'm quite happy. I don't want to be any other than personally with my journey. I'm very happy. I can't see what else could make me happy at the moment. I'm learning to like seeing my family at the weekend. Feel so privileged that I'm able to do that. And just being better, just growing. I think just growing.
So at the moment, you feel very content with how business is going, and so it's your person. And what I love talking to you about is because it's not just about your business. It's you are the brand, and you are it. And I think that's when you said to me about changing the logo. You're like, I'm the brand.
Yes.
And that is very, very true.
Yeah.
Because it's your business and your own journey personally is so tied together. And imagine if you had salons in Milan and Paris, and you'd have to be everywhere. Who needs that?
Well, do you know what? Not me. Because managing, you have to come away from the creativity, and that would be the end of my salons.
Yeah.
So I think I've learnt that as well. Like to manage, you have to take a step back and do an appraisals. Oh my god, like things like that. And like, well, who then appraises me?
Myself. I'm a fabulous tick.
So I think I do think again the success is measured for me so much differently now. I know that I'm successful just day to day. I don't need any more. If more comes along, fantastic. Like I'm very grateful. I'm learning a lot. Well, I've always been into like the secret of attraction and gratitude, but I'm definitely much more aware of it now. So I really think that you are a fine example of how lockdown has transformed a big part of you and your life, and come out the other side, sort of. It's almost like it was needed. It was needed. You sort of, at first I thought you were literally crumbling to the ground. We're very worried.
And then you sort of found an aspect of it, or rediscovered the aspect of yourself that
just
helped you through it.
Yeah, just completely switched. And the thing is, if it could not have happened, so I'm very lucky that. But I think everything at the beginning it seems like a mountain. Yeah. And there's, if you say you can, you can. If you say you can't, you can't. So at the beginning, I was like, I can't do this. And then like I said, I think if it wasn't for having the love and support at the beginning, it might have changed it. It might be very different. Yeah. So every part of the journey was incredibly important to getting to where I am now. But yeah, I definitely feel like from caterpillar to butterfly. Yeah. Like prime example of the cocoon, and literally wrapped up in your own house cocoon. Yeah. To then emerge.
If we'd have had a conversation in February saying, by the way, so look into a crystal ball, in August you're going to have a big divider up in your salon with a brand new logo, you're going to feel so much better. You're going to have recorded and edited some fabulous performance footage. You're going to have emerged as this, and you'd have achieved that, and a whole new aspect. You'd have been like, I haven't got time for any of that.
So yeah, I was like, where am I going to feel better?
And now you've had all this time, and now you've been able to come back.
I think it's, and you know, a lot of places in the village as well, and have been used the time to do their places up and to grow. And actually, it's nice to see that some people have been using it in the right way.
Yeah.
And actually, that time to take stock. And
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought. I'd be like, oh no, I'm fine. Why would I? Because I was very convinced I was keeping the Mark Lewis brand because I was happy with where I got to as Mark Lewis, and I didn't want to lose him because it's a very important part of me. You know, he and she are the same person. So I was convinced I was going to keep the name for forever. But then it was actually going through the lockdown. I was like, it is making me unhappy. Keep being kept called Mark and that. I don't mind being called he so much. It doesn't bother me. Because it's irrelevant. People that are talking to me like me, you know, I've learned to go like pick things that what was really choose what can really annoy you and what's really people are making an effort, and that means the world to me. But the name thing does sort of make me shudder now when people say Mark. So
people still do by accident. Or?
I've been a big part of a lot of people's lives. And when people think back to memories, it was like, oh, do you remember when me and Mark done this? So I'm like, I don't want to erase anyone's memories of me because they're my memories too. As Mark, as a human being with a person. But it was actually, and the more it's happening, and I was like, I'm fine, but inside it was starting to make me shudder. So that was when I think the name, it was like that, I might start changing it. And the grant helped me to pay for that. Again, beforehand, I probably like, I've got to save up first, or I've got to save up before. Whereas the grant has helped me to get my logo done, get my salon video done, which is do with Lucy. So that's I'm definitely one of the lucky people through the pandemic. Definitely.
Well, emerging like a butterfly with a Joan Collins tinge.